The repatriation of St. Lucian Cruise Line workers is ongoing. An additional 20 cruise line employees were welcomed home on Tuesday after 220 individuals were received on Friday, May 8th. The workers had been stuck at sea on the vessels at the height of the COVID-19 lockdown, but as measures eased, a window of opportunity for their return arose. The returnees are bound for 14-day quarantine under the gaze of medical professionals. The repatriation effort led the discourse during a Monday COVID-19 Response Center briefing with Chief Economist Tommy Descartes. Concerns surrounding the livelihoods of the repatriated workers and the impact of the rising unemployment rate on the St. Lucian economy were in sharp focus.
One of the policy that St. Lucia was pushing was to export its people, in a sense. So you export them onto the cruise ship, you export your human capital and so on. And now, given that this is a global pandemic and the cruise sector is particularly hit, and now you have to repatriate these people back into your economy. The hope is that we will see the cruise sector bouncing back rather quickly, and so these persons can now go back.
Descartes is optimistic of a rebound for the cruise line sector. However, he warns that pre-COVID-19 employment numbers in the tourism sector may never return, and the focus should shift towards training individuals in emerging sectors.
Perhaps the number of persons that are unemployed now and the layoffs, when the economy recovers, you will not see the same number of persons being reemployed. And it could mean a case where, so let's assume in the tourism sector you had 13,000 persons. It may be a case that the tourism sector will say, you know, maybe I'll be cautious and not employ the full 13,000, re-employ the full. So that would mean a case where persons are becoming structurally unemployed as a result of COVID, for instance, and that was similar to what happened in the banana industry when the whole preferential trade. We lost that preferential access and we were moving to the services sector in terms of tourism. There are persons who just did not have the skill sets to transition into the services sector. And so it's critical now that we focus on retooling and reskilling a large subset of our sector in order, because face it, work as we know it will change drastically.
The economic implications of COVID-19 are far-reaching, from the slump in tourism sector to the strain on economic activity caused by rigid social distancing protocols. Descartes says the full extent of the impact has not truly been felt. He points out the island's economy, which was on pace to grow by 3.5%, is now projected to contract by 18%.
Can you imagine what an 18% contraction in your economy is going to look like? So that has implications for jobs, that has implications for tax revenues, and so it's a very difficult time. And also, and given that everybody's facing it at the same time, everybody's trying on their own. So you look at the US is clearly having, issues. And again, I think the government also in this context have constrained fiscal space. We know that. I mean, the government don't have the kind of monies to pump in. Granted, the government is trying in terms of giving income support and so on, but that is something that is clearly not sustainable. And so we really have to manage, and given the uncertainty around COVID, the question is we will have to learn to live with COVID for some period of time.
The dire economic downturn has forced thousands on the breadline and pushed many businesses to the brink of collapse. The Ministry of Health has signaled the continuation of repatriation efforts to bring the island's cruise line workers home. A tentative date of June 14, 2020 has been earmarked for the possible reopening of the tourism product in OECS member states. However, according to data from the World Tourism Organization, tourism is down by 22% in the first quarter and could decline by 60 to 80% over the whole year. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.